Hi chums, right. Number 28, Sarpo Mira, and there's 3 large potatoes in here. Now, where are we at? Number 28, here we are, number 28. Sarpo Mira, 3 large, and these are mine. Okay, now, the last one we did in the car, as you know, haven't done well, and these are my own again, that I used from last year. So we'll just see what happens now, but these ones were actually looked after better than the other ones, so it'll be interesting, Right, just get this stuff off the top first, the hams. No point in trying to find them later on. Okie dokie, you can see a couple sticking up here. There's a wee slug. Goodbye, Mr. Slug. Right. Another Mr. Slug, so I'll go outside. Okay, so I think we're going to be happier this time. Right, so I went back to school last night. I went back to the Portadown Further Education College, well, the Southern Regional Further Education College, SC, South Eastern Regional College. They changed the name so many times, you know, that you tend to get confused, but we'll call it the old Portadown Tech, right, the old technical college. And I went back to wood turning again, and my idea was I wanted to learn how to use a particular gouge called look, a wee duck. And I wanted to learn a particular gouge called a continental spindle gouge. So Eric Turner's taking the class. He's a production turner and has been all his life, from he was 10 years old when he started working with his grandfather in his workshop. So he has about 54 years of experience. So he's a bit more than me, you know. He's taking the class, so I told him what I wanted to do. I went, right, that's dead on. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just start off, do a few beads and coves there, and we'll see how you're getting on. Nice, that's dead on. I've been turning for a few years, so that'll be no problem. You would have thought that I never had a gouge in my hand before. I was pathetic. The first thing I did, I had to lay out 15mm and 20mm spaces so that I could get 15mm beads and coves. The beads, the top, the bit goes up, and the coves, the bit that goes down. Okay? So it was 15, 20, 15, 20. I managed to do 15, 20, 15, 15, 20, 15, 20, 20, 15. A complete disaster. So that was not good. But I decided to go on ahead anyway. Sure, I'll just cut the beads, because it's not that hard. How wrong was I? See, this is where practice comes in. I haven't done cutting of beads and coves for a long time. I can cut a bead and I can cut a cove, but the reason I went back to the college was because I can't cut the same bead twice. Okay? I can do single beads and single coves and they look grand and there's no problem, but this is why I don't do spindle turning much, because I can't repeat that. So I can't get that same look every single time. So I spent my time cutting the beads and coves to the best of my ability, and they were all different size. They looked okay, right? They looked okay in terms of beads and individual beads and coves, but as a set of 10 the same, they looked like damn all. And Eric came over and looked at me and he gave me that look of, you know as well as I do that this is crap. And I said, Eric, I think I'm going to practice more. He said, you certainly are. Now, one of the issues was I didn't have my own gouges with me. I had one with me, but it was too big for the job and I tried to use it, but I needed a slightly smaller one. And the ones in the college had been ground on a wheel with a hollow grind. And I grind my wheels on my chisels on a belt with a flat grind, and there is a slight difference in the touch. And I hadn't used a hollow ground chisel for 7 or 8 years. So in my defence, I was using a tool that was too big for the job, and the one that was the right size for the job I just felt different from what I've been used to, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the shed and I'm going to chuck up pieces of wood, and I'm just going to stand and do nothing but beads and coves for the next couple of weeks, because when I go, or next week, when I go back to Eric next week, I want to take my piece of wood and do 10 good beads and coves, because it was kind of disgraceful last night what I did. I'm really disappointed in myself. I said to Alan Simpson that I want to die, but it's not that bad. But I did also say I'd just give myself a bloody good thrashing, because it shouldn't have happened, you know. It let me see that I wasn't paying attention to some of the things I should have been paying attention to. Now, I'm not going to be a production turner, that's for sure. But I think it is still important that I'm able to do 2 beads the same on one piece of work. You know, I'm not going to be making stair spindles. If I want stair spindles made, I'll go to David O'Neill and get him to do them, because he'll do them far quicker and far cheaper than I could. So, because he's got all the gear to do it. So, or I'll go to Eric, one or the other. I'll go to either of them to do it, because they'll do it far quicker than I ever could and do a much better job. But I do want to be in a position where if I want to turn 2 beads the same on the same piece of work, I can do it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the next weeks just doing beads and coves, very boring stuff, but repetition, and you get the muscle memory. The Captain Eddie talks about muscle memory all the time, and you get the muscle memory, and then when you go. But Eric made a good point last night. He's turning all day, every day, but he said if he has got, say, 200 spindles to do, he goes out at 8 o'clock in the morning and starts, and he said it's not until 10 o'clock that he's actually in full flow, when he's got the muscle memory right and he's doing it exactly right, even thinking, you know, he's just cutting through the work, no problem. And he said when he goes in for his dinner, it takes him about half an hour when he comes out again to get back into the flow. And he said, I've been doing this all my life. So he said, you guys are doing this once a week. So he said, you're not going to be in the position I am, where I can lift a gouge and just do what I want to do. But he said the way you get there is practice and practice and practice. And he's right. He is absolutely right. And, you know, I feel like such a hypocrite. When I was teaching, I kept saying to my students, you know, teachers give you homework not to annoy you, but to give you practice. Because that's what the whole thing's about. The reason you're getting a maths homework is because you've been told to do the same thing 20 times. And by doing it 20 times, you reinforce the pathways in your brain. And it means that you can do it naturally without even thinking about it. And whenever you're doing something in maths, say, and you get this teacher, it's boring because it's so easy, you know what, that's when you know it. That's how you know you've learnt it. So that's what we're trying to do to you. We're trying to get you to the stage where you can do a thing without thinking, basically, and you only do that by practice. And it's the same thing with practical skills like wood turning and any other craft. You have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. But I was not doing any spindle work, and to be honest with you, I kind of avoided spindle work because I know I'm not good at it. So this is where I went back to college and to learn how to do it properly, but I didn't think I would be as bad as I was last night. I was really, really annoyed with myself because I felt like I'd let myself down, you know. But anyway, that's how we learn, you know, and it's maybe the kick in the ass I needed to let me know that you have a lot of work to do, boy, before you can call yourself any sort of a wood turner, you know. So that's that. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm back at college and I'm going to be doing lots of beads and coves. I should actually have brought the piece of work down with me to show you, but what I'll do is I'll keep it until I've done a few here, and then I'll show you the difference a practice makes. Wouldn't that be a better idea? And you'll see what happened last night. Now, as I said, individually the beads weren't that bad and the coves weren't that bad, but they were all different. They weren't the same, and that's what the whole point of the thing was, to learn how to do a thing over and over again, you know, in the sense of over and over again, so you learn the technique, so when you need to do it once or twice, you can do it, you know, or I can do it. So that's that, folks. That's what it was. That's what happened last night. So my first night back at school was kind of disappointing for me, but I did learn a lot. Okay, we're going to have to get a bigger bag. What's that? Jaws. We're going to need to get a bigger boat. Right, we're going to need a bigger bag. Sarpo Mira. These are my own Sarpo Mira. So you can see that this is, I think this is due down to attention to the crop. I didn't really pay much attention to most of them last year. I got fed up and I wasn't in the mood for it, and it didn't work. So I'm going to do some again this year of my own and just see how they get on, you know. But I won't be doing like 20 pots in them this time. I'll do 2 or 3 just because I don't want to put all my eggs in all my spuds in one basket, if you like. Just in case it doesn't work, you know. Just watching the wee birds. The wee birds are making nests. Right. Oh, we've got about 7 pounds there, I reckon. Right, let me just get this. It's getting warm in here now. Let me just get this thing here turned round. So that was that. So that was last night. So for the wood turners and anybody doing any sort of practical type work skills, it's all down to practice. Once again, it's all practice. Right, turn that up, turn that round, point it in that direction. Right, and then we can do that. No, we can't do that. Right, and then turn that to there. Okay, there we are. That's near enough there. Okay, so hello. Right, what did I say? 7 pounds. I'm just going to stick with 7 pounds. We're on pounds there. 6.9 pounds. So it's about 3.1 kilos. 3.13 kilos. So I'm happy with that now. I'm happy with that. That's Sarpo Mira on my own, so I'll record that one and get ready to do the next one. Okay, all the best now. Bye bye.